Deshaun Watson's a guy that's really accurate. He quote unquote throws guys open and kind of throws with anticipation. He was asked about that, talent and skill that he has, and kind of translating it to a new offense.
It is pretty tough, because you got every receiver is different, especially on different routes. With DPJ and Coop and D-Bell, all those guys are different route runners. So being able to know how they're going to come out, when they're going to come out, how they're going to come out, and where they're going to be, it takes a little bit of time. But, I got to be able to adjust quick, especially if you want to be successful. And that's my mindset, is just trying to get extra reps, watch extra tape, and just let them know what I'm thinking and try to see what they're thinking on certain routes.
When you watch the film back, I guess, were you happy with your footwork, or were you overstriding, or anything you want to correct in that area?
Yeah, it was just overall just fundamentals, just my feet work, just making sure my base is, staying tight as much as possible, making sure I'm trusting the O-line in the pocket, and just making sure I'm trusting my eyes and my feet, because if I can do that and know where I want to go with the ball, then we could be very, very successful.
And Ashley, when I hear him talk, it's interesting. You always hear him talk, see what they're thinking, let them know what I'm thinking. He says that of his receivers and of Kevin Stefanski. It's really interesting that, it's a consistent message from him.
Yeah, I think he's really kind of prioritized that talking with his teammates, like on and off the field. Like off the field, it was interesting last week to hear from Jadeveon Clowney, who of course played with Deshaun Watson. His first 2 years in Houston was when they both overlapped there. And he said, compared to when Deshaun was a rookie and in his second year in the league, he thinks now he's much more communicative. That back then, he would just kind of come in and be a guy who wanted to do his work, stay focused on that, go home. But you really do kind of get to see it firsthand, the way he kind of brings everyone in this locker room together. And he's really, I think, made it a priority to get to know guys all over this team, to try to get that bonding going. And I think maybe he made that a priority because he knew he was going to have to miss some games here at the beginning of the year. And I do think since he's come back on the field, you've heard him talk about how important it was for him to listen to Jacoby and how Jacoby handled those cadences, how he was talking to guys in huddles, because he wanted to make, note of that to, I think, make this transition a little bit easier. And of course, with those things, it is going to be different guy to guy, but he really, I think, has prioritized that communication. And now, having dealt with what he did in Houston last week, just kind of knowing like, hey, it's these fundamentals that I need to be more focused on with my own game and, keep that communication going.